Hari Om Sarve Janah Sukhino Bhavantu Sarvamangalani Bhavantu Tathastu Tathastu Tathastu. So today I am continuing a new series, Physics in Vishnu Sahasranamas, Vishnu Sahasranamam, Lord's Sahasranamam. And though I have given some lectures in a non-visual way, I thought I will continue this, just like I had given some lectures of mathematics in Chamagam and physics in Chamagam, and I've given an explanation to those two videos because I like science and I like physics. So I found, after going through this Vishnu Sahasranama, my God, the amount of physics involved there is astounding. Okay, let me go straight on to that. I am picking a stanza of number 15, and I will be picking a lot of stanzas here and there and my every part. So now going to stanza number 15. What is that? Lokadyaksha Suradaksha Dharmadyaksha Krita Kritaha Chaturatma Chadurvyuha Chadur Dramshtra Chadur Bhujaha is the verse. Lokasya Adyakshaha. Adyakshaha means teacher, chief person, or the head, or the neta, whatever it is. Lokasya Adyakshaha. Yes, that means for the entire world. Okay, that is commonly told in all religions. So Lokasya Adyakshaha. They are again re-emphasizing in Vishnu Sahasranamam. Bhagawan, Mahavishnu is a Lokasya Adyakshaha. He is the teacher. Lokadyakshaha Suradakshaha. Suras means devas. What you say, supernatural beings. So for them, Asura, if you put, is A plus Sura. Is a Rakshasa, you can say. Who is this word Asura, A, in Sanskrit comes as an opposite. We have two pratyayas. One is called the Ajadi Pratyayaha and Haladi Pratyayaha. Ajadi is used in the swaras like A, E, E. If I say Adi and I put an for opposite meaning, Anadi. Uchitam, Anuchitam. So it gives you the opposite meaning. I have to put an for the swaras. I just put A for the consonants. Kaka, cha, cha, tata, dada and all. Yara, lava, sa. So sa, I put asura, opposite to sura. For Suradyakshaha is also the Adyakshaha for the devas. And dharma also. For dharma means what you say, purity. Pavitra, they say. So purity is what I would say is dharma, the laws of dharma, the laws for purity. In every way, in physical actions or in mental actions, whatever you want to call, is a dharma also. God is the Adyakshaha. Now comes the philosophical word, Krita Akritaha. It's scientific. How? Krita and Akrita means, I told you, Krita means doing, action, whatever it is, manufactured or something. Akrita, like Asura. So Akrita means non-doing. So Krita is something in existence or something being done and something being not done. It is not that it is not there. Something is there but something is not done. There is for some material no kinetic force or physical force is given for them to be a kritam, for them to be an action. If you take this a ball, a small ball instrument, it will be lying there, but I have to kick it to give a force to that. I have to do the kritam, which is kicking the ball. So by the force it goes, travels. So the action is there, revealed. Action takes place. Akrita. See the science here, you cannot dismiss it as normal. See their thoughts. The thoughts is something called existence, and if there is existence, something non-existence has to be there. That's what one of the famous, as I was hearing, Lawrence Krauss of, I think NASA, I think he's from University of Virginia, a physicist. Everything came out from nothing. So from Akritam, the Kritam came. So there must be a state of non-existence and there must be a state of existence. For the state of existence to know whether there is a state of existence, a referential factor called the state of non-existence has to be there for us to understand better that there is something called existing. If an existence has to come place, a state of non-existence has to be there. That's what Buddha says. There is a state of unborn, uncreated, unmanifested. If there is no such state of unborn, uncreated and unmanifested, there is no escape for the born, the created and the manifested. So he talks of the state of unborn for the state of born to be there. See the depth in the science. Krita, akrita. So he is a lot of both. For the state of existence, for the state of non-existence. So Lokadeksha, Suradeksha, Dharmadeksha, Krita, Krita, Chaturatma, Chaturvyuha, Chadurdramshtra, Chadurbujaha, Chaturatma. Again, they picked the number 4. Why? Because in Einstein's physics, we all know through special theory of gravity and general theory of gravity, the universe was explained through 4 forces. And every physics student or everybody knows the electromagnetic force, the gravitational force, the strong nuclear force and the weak nuclear force. Now forces are there, but their functions have to be there. How the forces are, their bhavam has to be there. The explanation of those forces, the bhavam has to be there. And how it can be more explained by the 4 forces, how to explain the 4 forces, the bhujaha has to be there. I will come to that. Chatur Murtihi. Murtihi is a form. Generally you say the Murtihi means a form, normally referring to a physical human form too. Human, animal or any form of a matter, observable matter. So Chaturmurtihi. So what he says, there is 4 figures overall. The standard, the electromagnetic force, the standard model, the electromagnetic force, the the gravitational force, the weak nuclear force, and the strong nuclear force. So Chadurmurti is there, my dear friends. He says, Bhagavan, Chadurmurti, he is the Chadurmurti in all these 4 forces. Chadurmurti, Chadurbhavaha. Now, what is this Bhavaha? Bhavaha is the character that explains this force. In a gravitational force, it attracts. The laws of attraction, we have the black hole. It attracts the earth. The earth cannot function if there is no gravity. Solar system cannot function if there is no gravity of the sun. Our earth will be flung away. Balanced gravity is there. It's going in an orbit. So the gravitational force not only exists in our earth, otherwise we'll all be floating if there is no gravity. Newton's law of gravity. Newton found why the apple has to fall down on my head, why it doesn't go up or why it doesn't float. So since the earth is there, we are all standing like this, facing the sun, for example. So for us to stand on the earth, on the sand, we have to have the pull of the earth. Is it not? Gravity. A very big explanation. So, Chatur Bhavaha, the pulling of the bhava, the character, the function, what these do, the electromagnetic force, the electricity, the magnetism, even this world, our own earth, is surrounded by a magnetic field that also helps the ultraviolet rays of the sun not to enter too much. It resists those ultraviolet harmful rays. A magnetic field is there compressing everything. It attracts also. What it has to attract, it attracts. Everything is in balance maybe. So the electric force has to be there. The force has to be there. Without electricity, there is no energy. The energy is given there. Lots of electricity causing fire, causing energy. The electric force, the magnetic force is what Einstein explains, or in general physics you can see. So the bhava, what it does, the bhava, the magnetism is required. It attracts also. So the bhava, the character of those forces, what is strong nuclear force? Every atom you see, there will be a nucleus. Inside the nucleus, there are the protons and the neutrons. And then the electrons, the probable electrons are going around and around the yolk, the egg. Inside the egg, you have the nucleus. They go around and around. But these protons, neutrons, electrons have to bind themselves together as an atom. Suppose you take this atom uranium-235. So you have 92 of proton and 43 of neutron. That's why we say the element of the atomic element mass and all we say. So 235, 92 plus 143 is 235. And the electrons are not calculated. Equal amount of protons, 92, equal amount of electrons will be there. One is positive protons and one is negative. So, but these have to bind together. The force, the character is to strong nuclear force has to bind, because matter will not be there. Though there is a normal decay of a U-35 heavier elements, you say they say 50% up to 700 million years it will live. Slowly it will decay. Natural decay and artificial decay they give on a nuclear explosion today, bombarding it with more neutrons so that the atom is unstable. So, but the point is, the main atoms right from helium or hydrogen or helium or oxygen or whatever it is, you take iron and all, they have to be an iron as an iron only if the matter, only if the atoms inside are as atoms, close, bound by a strong nuclear force. So then only you can see the matter. So explain that bhava. It is that bhava, the weak nuclear force. They say when two stars rotate against two planets rotate against each other, they don't crash, but there is some weak nuclear force which make them to rotate. Whatever it is, there are nuclear forces. Nuclear energy is different when the atom decays. Every atom has to decay, body has to decay, but then they change it, they form after some time, what time and all, it is there. So weak nuclear forces are there. For strong nuclear force is an atom, the weak nuclear forces are generated movement of planets. And gravitational force is a very important gravitational. I said the black hole, because everywhere gravity is there. Without gravity, we cannot also exist. If the sun does not have proper gravity, it cannot attract the earth, balanced gravity. Too much of gravity, it will pull the earth into it. So the balanced gravity, the earth is not flung out. Otherwise, weak gravity, if it is too less, our earth will not be rotating the sun. It would have been flung far, 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 far into the universe. Where we go, we don't know. The life would not exist. That's what Chaturbhavaha. For that, he says, Chadur Dramshtraha. What is Dramshtra? Teeth. 4 teeth means 4 pillars. Probably even Bhishma is referring to Bhagavan's Narasimha Avatara. I'm not saying no. But the Chatur Dhramshtraha, lion has a lot of teeth. The front 2 canines, the back 2 canines, central also, another big canines may be there. But Chatur Dhramshtraha, only 4. Everywhere only 4 we are seeing. Chatur Morti and all. But Chatur Dhramshtraha, Chatur Bhujaha. Chatur Dhramshtra is 4 pillars. What are those 4 pillars? Supporting pillars. These 4 forces of the standard model. I have already told you. Electromagnetic force, the gravitational force, the weak nuclear force, and the strong nuclear force. So they are explaining that these are the pillars that can hold the universe. If there is no gravitational force, for example, if one pillar is not there, then we would not be existing. All of us either would be floating in the air, and then there may not be a sunlight. We would have been flung into the darkness of the universe. We may crash into some other thing. We don't know. We may not. Because if there is no gravity, not only here, in other galaxies or other systems also, like our solar system, like the Proxima Centauri and all, they are saying the next star, next sun, or the next galaxy, the Andromeda galaxies and all, everywhere only gravity enables them to function for us to see, for us to exist. Otherwise, we do not know what is there before this universe Big Bang. So everywhere gravity is required. the electromagnetic forces are required, the strong nuclear force is required, and the weak nuclear forces are required for me to talk to you and you to hear me, and for us to enjoy the sun, enjoy the moon, enjoy the aircraft, for us to see the world or see the next stars through a telescope. Whatever it is, the world, every matter has to stay. Energy has to be there in the matter. E equals mc squared plus a constant he puts in his general theory of relativity. Therefore, the energy has to be liberated. The equation is there, mass times velocity squared. Velocity is here, means speed of the light, 300,000 kilometers per second. Square it. So, it depends on the mass of the atom. So that means Chadur Dramshtraha, 4 pillars are there to support the universe, and Chadur Bhujaha. See the beautiful. Bhujaha means arms, shoulders, but you will say few arms. With the arms you lift something, some weight to something. So these forces lifts the universe, balances it. Why arms are used? Not to take it and throw it away. The arms means I carry you in my arms. I embrace you with my arms. I carry the child in my arms. I carry the rice bag. I carry, it is more of a helpful tendency, supportive tendency, that these are carried by the arms, by the shoulders. That is, I will come to that. Bahu will come. So the Chadur Bhujaha, that means the way Vishnu Sahasranamam stotras, lot of them will explain the universe, how Bhagavan is there. Just they don't say, okay, if you steal, Bhagavan will kill you, Bhagavan will do that. These are all for the downside, not so exposed to intelligence or information, to some different layers of people are there in this world. For them, to make them understand about the seriousness of a situation, about the correctness of the situation, various references, examples can be used. But for the higher intellectuals, such type of examples if you give, you can understand physics better. Why Chatur Bhujaha? They are arms, our arms, which are used to help, to serve, to lift, to carry. And what are the Dramshtraha? Teeth, 4 teeth. Dramshtraha in Sanskritam, pure Sanskritam, means teeth, long teeth. But teeth means, in any word we use these references, analogies and references, citing examples and all, in a different way also, in an applied way, in a poetic way, in a situational way. So 4 pillars, these are the 4 pillars, these 4 forces are the 4 pillars. So, and how they have their own characteristics, Chadur Bhavam. How does the electromagnetic force behave? So what is the Bhava? What is the gravitational force? It just simply pulls. The nuclear force holds together, strong nuclear force holds together the atom. The weak nuclear force are required for the planets to rotate, go circle each other. Even they may go close to each other for various things. Right from if you go to the sun is a planet. If you want to do that, it's a radiating energy through nuclear fusion. So the earth has to go somewhere near around that, through a weak nuclear force is created. So that is why they say Chadur Bhujaha, Chadur Dramshtraha, Chadur Bhavaha, Chatur Atma. Atma is the classification overall. The energy that is present everywhere, energy has to be present. Even in an electric, this thing, photons have energy. Everywhere energy has to be, for any matter to act, interact, any energy to act, interact, there must be energy in an energy. Then, if you go to the next verse number, I think it is 82. It's a lovely verse. Chatur Murtis, Chatur Bhavas, Chatur. It's a verse which comes under 82. In some texts it may be different. Chatur Murtis, Chatur Bhavas, Chatur Atma, Chatur Veda with Eka Path and all, it is there. The correct verse I am saying Chatur Murtihi, Chatur Murtihi, Chatur Bhava, Chatur Vyuha, Chatur Gatihi. Chatur Atma, Chatur Bhavaha, Chatur Veda with Eka Pad. So here also the explanation in 82, it comes under in most of the books must be 82. So it says Chatur Murtihi. Murti is again a form like a vigraha. See, Murti is generally applied in Hinduism for idols. You know, temple idols, Murti and all, they take the Murti, resemblance of something bigger. So there may be Chatur Murtihi. Murtihi is a identifiable version. If you want to identify a god, you cannot really, a normal man like us cannot really think of the air as a god or see the sky. A mode of a concentration, that's what I used to explain. Even if you have a pencil, it is an idol. A blackboard is an idol. Without pencil and blackboard, if I try to explain differential calculus, for example, or analytical geometry, x-axis and y-axis, and try to fit the line amongst the points, it's difficult by oral way or by just. So my idol is my chalk piece or my pencil, and my another idol is my blackboard. Likewise, various idols are there. For a doctor, the idol is a surgeon, an idol is a scissors or a knife. He cannot do the operation, surgical operation like this. So Murti is a representative figure of a greater power. So Chaturmurtihi means these are all the factors. There may be something greater than an electromagnetic force. We do not know. The representative, that is a Murti. The gravitational force is a Murti for you to identify and understand. The strong nuclear force is a Murti. So Chaturmurti, like the weak nuclear force, is a Murti. How do you identify? Simply, a focused laser type of an attention is required for you to understand the four forces in the standard model, and you can explain so that the Chaturmurti is these Chatur fellows in the standard model, the four forces. So for a type of a concentration for you to enable you to assimilate and imbibe the idea more clearly, the Murtis are there. Murtis are vigrahas, and some religion says idol worship is wrong. It's absolutely not correct. Maybe their kalachar or customs are there, but here this is what a Murti is, a small bimba mainly, and it is done, pradishta is done with lot of mantras. There is a agama shastra for that. So Chaturmurti means four forces of nature identified. Just like you identify Guruvayur, if you go, you identify the Murti, the small Murti. Whereas if you go to Venkatachalapati, Mahavishnu and Avatar, that Murti is big. So if I say I am going to Guruvayur, I know because of the Murti, I know I can go God and see in that form. So Chaturmurtihi, every god has his form. Ayyappa has a form. Shiva has his form. So Chaturmurtihi, Chaturbhavaha. Chaturmurtis, Chaturbahu. Here, not Bhujaha, Bahuhu. I said Bahuhu means shoulders. On shoulders, everything can rest on your shoulders. That's what they say generally, You have your shoulders to give support to anything that require your support, whether material or non-material, active or inactive, life or no life. So your Bahuhu is a shoulder. Bhujaha, I would say, is the arms, the full arms like this. So Chatur Bahuhu, Chaturmurtis, Chatur Bahuhu, Chatur Vyuha, he also goes. Now, what is this Vyuha? See, we have Chakra Vyuham in Mahabharata, everybody knows. Abhimanyu went there inside, could not get out of it because it is a technology. There is a pivot, and the surrounding forces, like the spokes in a wheel, here in that Vyuham, they are not stable. They are unstable. It's an unstable atom like uranium-235. The heavyweight atoms are unstable because the protons and the neutrons, 92 protons are there. If 92 neutrons are there, more or less stable. But here it is 143 neutrons. They are unhappy, unstable atoms. So the vyuha, inside the vyuha, the center is the pivot, the gravitational force, the leader, the pivotal commander. But the forces are all not stable so much. So when you say Chatur Vyuha, these forces have to be controlled by a central command. And therefore God is that central command who controls these four forces, making those four forces to be at balance. Otherwise, hither and thither, the gravitational function, gravity of the sun has to be well calculated and nice so that the earth is not sucked into it or not thrown away out of it. So, you have Chadurmurtis, Chadurbahu, now Chadur Atma also. So the Atma again it comes here, but Chadurmurti, we have seen that Chadurmurtihi, Chadurbahu, Chaturvyuha. I was talking of Chaturvyuha in verse number 82, stanza 82, Chaturvyuha. So, exactly in the center as a pivot is our Bhagavan, Mahavishnu. And all the forces, unstable forces are there, but he controls them. Somebody to control those forces. So he is that Vyuha, a pivot. You would have seen in a chakra, the center, all the spokes go and join. The central point, the commander. So he is the Chadur Vyuha, and then he comes to Chadur Gatihi, the final refuge. See, the basically prima facie at the physical level, all the forces in a greater, we have the great expansion of the universe and the great shrinkage also. Finally, they lose their energy and shrink back to singularity. So, for all these forces, the Gatihi is the pivot, the singularity. For the Chadur Atma, whatever he uses, the singularity is the concept. So, for the Gatihi, the finality, the refuge will be in singularity only or in nothingness. Gati means, they say, normally people who know Sanskritam or Indian language, Adho Gati, that's Adho means down, the refuge is down, means the man is fallen down. So, Ataha, so what I am telling is, Gatihi is a refuge, place, final destination. For all these things is singularity back to the Bhagavan, the central pivotal person. Chatur Gatihi, then it goes on to say, Chaduratma, Chadur Bhavaha, Chadur Vedavid Ekabad. Again, Chaduratma, Chadur Bhavaha. So, Atma is again explains that Chatur Atma, the Chadur forms the energy, the formlessness. Because if you want to see electricity or electromagnetic force, you can see only the Atma. I mean, you cannot see the Atma is there, the energy is there, you cannot see them physically. Like somebody used to say, normal examples, if you want to see God, can you see electricity? So the Atma is being said because you cannot physically see those standard model forces, the four forces. You can only experience it, realize it. I can experience a gravity. If I jump up, I will jump down, automatically, it will pull me down. If I put a coin down, it goes down, gravity. If I touch a live wire or something, electric shock, magnetism, you give me a magnet and I put something, top, it goes, sticks, nuclear force. Everybody knows strong nuclear and weak nuclear, all are experiencing. You cannot see them like a physical matter. That's why Chaduratma. And Chaduratma has that bhava, which is explained. Chadur Gadihi we have seen, Chadur Veda, with the knowledge of the four sciences. I mean, practically they may explain to you as Chadur Veda, four Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama and Atharvana. I mean, that is not the point. Vedas are knowledge. The knowledge of the function of these four forces, that Vidya, you should know how they function, what are they, though they are Chadurmurti, you can, for knowledge, for understanding, you are as a Murti, but they are Chaduratma. They cannot be seen physically as you see a container. It cannot be seen physically. That is why Chaduratma. That is why Chatur Veda, this Veda with the Vidya of this Chatur Veda, the Chatur knowledge of these four forces. But you should know they are all Ekapath. There is only one way to know that. Ekapath. Eka means one. Path means the foot. That is the only one footstep. It means the direction is one, the singularity is one, the path is one. Everything goes to that Ekam. The path is towards that Eka path. Only one. If you want to say pure translation in Sanskrit, 1 foot. Well, that is not that, because in poetic Samskrita you can use it in a beautiful poetical beauty words. It goes to singularity. So the entire verse, if you see this, I think it is 82. I said, yeah, it is 82. Chadurmurtis Chadurbahu Chadurvyuha Chadurgatihi Chaduratma Chadurbhavaha Chadur Vega with Degabad. Very clearly it says, the more of it I shall explain in the coming verses. This is the part 1. Till such time, Bhuyat Tavat Shubhamangalam. Ariho.